It hurts so much worse when they end up in a relationship with their AP. This will be long. But at least it's entertaining. I just need some support. I'm ducking heartbroken. My girlfriend and I had been together for over 4 years and were living together for 2. About 8 months ago she started a job at a factory. She's a very young, very pretty blonde girl, so I was weary but I trusted her. Immediately she gained a close friend, we'll call him Sean. She said Sean was a great guy and kept the creeps away from her at work. Fast forward a few months and I see her and Sean are liking every single post the other posts on every social media platform. I ask my SO if she has been talking to him outside of work. She says no, and I ask if she'd prove it by showing me her Snapchat. Not the kind of person I am, but I knew something was up. She refuses and admits she's been Snapchatting him. I keep my cool, but things only get worse with how close they were. Eventually I message him, very politely, and ask him if there's anything going on and tell him I'm uncomfortable with the level of their friendship. He responds back like the nicest guy I've ever heard. I'm harmless, we're just good friends, you don't need to worry about me, we'll only ever be friends. I felt better. Fast forward again a month or so later and she starts going for drives at like 1 a.m. Like 4-hour drives. Now we shared our locations, so I know she didn't go anywhere to meet him. But it's still suspicious as hell. Things like this keep happening and eventually I confront her. I think you're cheating on me with Sean. She's flabbergasted. I would never do that. I'd break up with you before I cheated on you. He's just very nice. I believed her. About 3 weeks ago I come to bed, she's asleep, and her phone lights up. I peek down at it and it's a text from him, his name, she didn't even change it to hide they were texting. The text says, "Good night, baby. Sweet dreams, I love you." I immediately wake her up and confront her and she's suddenly a mute. Won't say a word. I kicked her out of the house, because it's mine, and she leaves. She was afraid to go to her parents, so she just stayed in her Jeep all night. I tell my very close friends what happened and it just so happens the guy lives right around the corner from him. At about 9 a.m. that morning my friend peeks around the corner and there's her car in Sean's driveway. She had been texting and calling me all night begging me to hear her out and patch things up. After about a week of begging me and me saying no, I finally cave. I tell her we will talk when she gets off work. Remember, they're coworkers and she's very happy about it. I get off around midnight and decide to drive past her work since it's only about 90 seconds from my house. There's her car parked right next to his, in the back of the parking lot with no one around. She'd been talking to him still the whole time. I lose it. I go home and start threatening to kill myself. She called the police and I was admitted into the hospital for 3 days. I get out of the hospital and get my phone back. I wasn't allowed to have it in there. She's blown me up with paragraphs about how I'm her soulmate and she's so sorry and she'll be here waiting for me when I'm ready. At this point I'm beaten, deprived of all joy. I continue to talk to her and she tells me she hates him because of what's happened to us and she hasn't talked to him since that night. Stupidly, I meet up with her a few nights later and we talk in my truck. I tell her she's in a safe space and can tell me the truth about anything and I won't be mad, or tell her I'm done with her. At the end of the conversation I ask her to prove she hasn't talked to him and show me her texts. I watch her delete their conversation in the reflection of my window before she shows me her phone. She must have argued with me for 10 minutes saying she didn't delete anything before she admitted it. I lose it again. How, after everything you've said to me, can you still lie and talk to him? You must be in love with him. She says she's not and that hadn't been texting in that sort of context. Over the last few days people have reached out to me with stories about her and Sean, all things I didn't know about. Hickeys, her being at his house, etc. I spoke to her briefly earlier tonight and told her I forgive her. I do. I don't plan on getting back together with her. She randomly stops messaging me back. I get a text from the friend who lives by Sean and he says that she is parked in his driveway. This was about 6 hours ago and she's still there, at his house. I'm ducking broken. I love this girl with every fiber of my being. We had a life planned. I had my late grandmother's necklace made into ring to propose to her, and she knew. We were looking at houses to buy. We had 12 animals together. We were perfect for each other. She was my best friend, my everything. I don't think I'll ever love someone like that again. I loved her with everything. And I end up coming home to an empty house and cry in the shower while she lays in bed in his arms. That's my ducking girlfriend, not his. This is so ducking hard. Thank you if you read all of this. I just needed to type it all out. Edit. Thank you all for your kind words. We had another talk where basically all she did was take up for him and talk about how he's actually a really good and gentle guy. Nothing about wanting me more or anything, so I get it now. I've blocked her on everything and am getting my number changed. She asked if in a year or so she could reach out, and I told her I may be in a new relationship then and I'm a loyal boyfriend, so I wouldn't respond. Redditor's reactions update after. Redditor 1, hi, sorry this all happens to you. But I do have a question. You are so hung up on her texts, if she texted him or not. How about her car constantly parked at his house? Did you ever mention that to her? If so, what is her response to that? Anyway, bottom line is, she is lies and betrayed you. That is all you need to know. Just block her on everything, really go no contact. That way you will heal in the quickest way. Every time she tries to contact you, then just ignore her. If she meets up with you somehow, like showing up at your house, then just walk past her, do not acknowledge her existence. If she says anything, just ignore what she is saying. Just one last thing, let everyone know why you broke up, tell her family, your family and all friends she cheated on you with Sean. Do not let her tell why you broke up, because you can be sure that you are the bad guy. Take care. Mr. Big Bull. Redditor follow up, yeah, I agree. Don't just ignore her texts. Block her. You don't need to be seeing her texts, and have her potentially break your heart all over again. You deserve better than that. Redditor 2, you are lucky, she is sick people who just gaslighting you the either time. Focus on yourself, hit the gym hard, you will find a better girl. Her relationship will not last longer, it will end in a chaos sooner or later. Redditor 3, you are dodging a big bullet bro, be thankful it happened now and not in 10 more years, with kids, house, car etc. It is not nice to get divorced. The best thing you can do is stop contacting her and concentrate on yourself. I know it's hard, but you have to do it. You can also consider the option of moving out. It is horrible for your mind to think if your ex-girlfriend is in Sean's house, which to make it worse, lives just around the corner. Consider that option, bro. It can be a great opportunity to heal. And if you need therapy, don't hesitate to ask for help. Don't be ashamed if you need it. Best of luck, brother. Remember, you are dodging a huge bullet. Answer, after a few weeks, this is really how I feel. I dodged a bullet. She's a mean, nasty person. A true narcissist, a sociopath. Something like this, or even worse, would have happened in the future. Now I'm just mad that I wasted 4 years. There were really good times, but I would have rather never even met her if I knew it would end up like this. I'm also mad that I was deceived into thinking I was loved, which obviously wasn't true if she cheated on me for months with some ugly dude with a handlebar mustache and BP disorder. Update, it's been 1 month, I don't know who I am anymore. Well, it's been 1 month today since D-Day, I think that's what we call it here. If you read my post, you'll see I've been struggling to come to terms with the fact that we're done. I was only truly myself with her. I don't know who I am or how to act anymore. I'm lost. I have some good days and some bad days. My job is very boring and all I can do is sit there and think since I can't have my phone. I spend most of my time connecting dots. She was cheating for over 3 months and I think back to things that just made me wonder at the time. Back in November I found some lingerie on our bedroom floor while she was at work. She never wears lingerie. When I asked her about it, she said she found it in her drawer and was going to wash it. I now know that she wore it, so send him pictures. Back in December, she was sleeping and I was watching TV next to her. Our cat knocked something over and she jolted awake and said her AP's name. At the time I had no idea what was going on with them. I pressed her on why she'd call me his name and she chalked it up to I was talking to him at work before I came home. I don't know. How ducking stupid am I? It's just hard to deal with. Fighting with yourself about if she even wanted me back, would I do it? I love the woman beyond measure, we had very, very good years, I was outstanding to her. I deserve better, but I don't want it, I want her. I can see now that it will get easier with time and my judgment isn't as clouded with love. Just thinking of them together, she's been staying at his house, I know they've been having time obviously. I just can't get it out of my mind. It feels like I'm still being cheated on. On top of it all, the dude is ugly as hell. I don't mean to be mean, but I mean, he's really something. He rides a motorcycle and works out and has tattoos, and she's just infatuated with the cool guy with a good heart that she thinks he is. It's the most painful when I come home from work, to an empty house, knowing she's laying in his arms. She's happy while I have to come home to quiet nothingness. Why I'm posting this. Venting? Just updating? I don't know. Sometimes it feels good to just write it all out. Any advice for moving on from something you thought would be set in stone for the rest of your life? Redditor's reactions. Redditor 1, she knew how much you like her and will try to use it to drag you along as much as possible. Even now you're being dragged. It's hard not to think about it, but I can give you a few tips. 1. Take long walks. Really, a long walk. 2 hours plus. 2. Find a new hobby and dedicate yourself to it. The feeling of achievement will help a lot. Go learn to play the guitar, skydiving, learn German, hit the gym seriously, crocodile wrestling, whatever. Just commit yourself to it. 3. Get rid of every trace of your cheating ex, if you didn't do it already. No matter how painful it is, just burn the effing pictures. 4. Focus on thinking about yourself. The first and last love should always be yourself. Thinking that she's happy, miserable, deluded, loving, hating, or anything else won't help you. The mind still clings even after the obvious end. It's a trap of your own creation, even though you're not conscious of it. Best of luck. Redditor 2, well, the most important thing is to learn from the experience. Life will go on, and in the next relationship in the future you must learn to set boundaries. Your ex-GF gaslit you all the time and you ignored all the red flags. Don't let that happen the next time. Yes, there will be a next time. And I know it is hurting, but you were not married, you didn't have kids, and it was only 4 years. You have no idea how much worse it could have been. And you ex-GF was never the person you thought she was. It is really hard to erase that glorified picture in your head, but the sooner you realize she was not that wonderful person, the sooner you will move on in life. Redditor follow up, going through something similar. But there's traces of who they are truly as a person during the relationship that we don't see or overlook until it comes out, and by then it's too late. We tend to overlook red flags during a relationship that others see, and only do we see them when things like this happen. It's time to run and never look back. Keep yourself grounded and don't ignore red flags in the future, no matter how small. Redditor 3, I am so sorry. Your pain shines through your post. I'm sorry you love the woman who left you so much. I wish I had advice, but the only thing I can think of is to put yourself out there, not to date, but something to engage your mind. Find a hiking group. Join a gym. Go biking. Join a team sport. Take an art or language class or an extension class at your local university. Volunteer at a food bank. Find something to engage yourself and draw your thoughts away from your abandonment. Heck, get a puppy. It sounds trite, but in time it will get better.